Welcome to Brewsers, a podcast about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. I am your host, Rody John, and today we talk to Michael Lyubimov. We talk all about managing the mecca that is Jackson Wink MMA, cornering fighters, along with the difference between jiu-jitsu and sambo. This is such a fun conversation. Michael, again, he is the general manager over at Jackson Wink, and Jackson Wink, as we know, has a long lineage of putting out and producing absolutely amazing MMA fighters, and I can't wait to see what the future even holds for Jackson Wink, because the sport is always changing and fighters are always coming in and out of different camps. So Jackson Wink is definitely a mecca for any upcoming or, any MMA fighter in general. So can't wait for you guys to hear this interview. But first, make sure to sign up for our newsletter. It comes out twice a week. You get even more information about our guest. You get fun facts, and you get to find out what's happening with your favorite podcast all about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. So without further ado, here is Michael Lyubimov. I would like to welcome to the show Michael. He is the general manager over at Jackson Wink MMA. How are you doing today, sir?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. So where are you right now? What are you doing? Trying to give some people the kind of a word picture as to what's going on around you.
Well, right now I'm in my office actually working on a chart, like charting out the our main MMA cages. We have a new huge sponsor coming in. So I'm just doing like all the measurements on the cage. So I'm putting it on a computer, like putting it on paper with all the measurements.
Well, that sounds crazy exciting. I've seen a bit of your office on another interview, and you have quite the poster collection behind you. How often do you change them out or kind of update them?
No, I mean, they just stay here. It's part of history. We collect memorabilia. It's all over the gym. It's a very big facility, so I have posters and all kind of memorabilia hanging all over the place. So I don't change them really. Just keep adding them, but we're running out of space.
Great. Put it look right. Do you know what the oldest one is in the room or no?
Yeah, there's some old ones. I have a poster here from when Coach Winklejohn fought Denis Alexiev, the brother of Jean-Claude Van Damme in the movie Kickboxer.
Oh, yeah.
That's from very long time. I don't remember the year, but it's like 90s or something.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So much history there. So what is your earliest memory of martial arts?
Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee movies. I'm from that era of when the VHS came out and we first started seeing all the, Bruce Lee movies, Jackie Chan movies, all kind of Chinese movies. That was pretty cool, man. Like, I have a good memory with that.
Yeah, I've said it before, but I'm curious if someone has actually done a study or a paper about how far reach Bruce Lee had when it came to not only, obviously here in America in the regular, upper class, middle class, lower class, like all classes, and then the far outreach of, not internationally, how far he really went and really inspired so many people, because he's essentially one of the first ever mixed martial artists, but at the time they didn't really have a name for it.
Yeah. Well, it was, he started the whole martial arts movement. So It's like his reach is still being felt. I have a huge cutout poster of Bruce Lee literally in the lobby when you walk in. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe newest generation might not understand exactly what kind of power Bruce Lee brought at that time, but, you start digging deep and reading about the culture and how he came on the scene and what he brought. He's definitely the man that started it all on a bigger scale,
You're so right. He took it from something that was not known to absolutely the stratosphere of what people can do. And like you said, he really brought attention to the martial arts scene in general.
Say again, I'm sorry, I missed it. I had somebody walk in.
Oh, you're fine. No, I was just echoing what you were saying about how he
Oh,
took it from, one level to an entire stratosphere level that, people are still feeling the ripples now, even though they know of the legend of Bruce Lee, even though they may not even have seen a Bruce Lee movie. He's just
right.
that generational person. Like Muhammad Ali's the same way with boxing. They may not have ever seen a Muhammad Ali fight, but they know who Muhammad Ali is.
For sure. Yeah, it's just the way the story goes with them, And then the first, like it was him, Jackie Chan, Chuck Norris, like those guys. They're like forever engraved in history. It's the pioneers of martial arts industry. Well, Bruce Lee was the first biggest ever,
Yeah. And then, Chuck Norris was in those movies as well with Bruce Lee. Yeah.
Yep.
I would love to talk to Chuck Norris sometime. I know he lives in Texas. I just, he's so big that I don't know if I get to him.
You never say never.
True. I put it out in the universe and it can and will happen.
100%.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Now, exactly. Now, you're in the mecca for amazing fighters when it comes to the Jackson Wink MMA. How did you get there initially?
Well, I was, I guess, part of the first ever kind of like Russian, Dagestani, Chechen management team back in the day that brought Khabib Nurmagomedov here. So I used to work with guys in the beginning, and I got hooked up with them when I was in the car business. We were I was in New Jersey. I was training, doing jiu-jitsu, competing, this and that, and then I was in the car business, and I met one of the founders of that first team, and we just got hooked up. I've been in this country for a long time, a veteran, I served in the Navy, and then did a lot of martial arts and stuff. And then when I hooked up with them, I was helping them because a lot of those guys didn't speak English and anything like that, So we started working together very closely, traveling all around the world, Brazil, Russia, this and that. And then I ended up coming here with one of the fighters that's currently in UFC, Timur Valiev. He's in UFC now. He's an Ultimate Fighter with Conor McGregor and stuff. And then I came here a couple of times, one with Timur and Rustam Khabilov, the Russian suplex machine back in the day, and Adlan Amagov. And so I came with them, and pretty much just started talking to Coach Winklejohn, and he liked my skill set and what I had to offer. And in fact, I spoke Russian, and I have really good computer knowledge and just business knowledge. I ran the car dealerships, call centers like back in the day. So I had a lot of business sense, things like that, how to put things together. I'm web designer, graphic designer, all kind of. I have so many skill sets, video editing, all that stuff. So kind of like meant to happen, and they asked me to stay.
So what initially brought you to America?
I was just a student, just came in to study and ended up staying.
As much as Khabib has really put a stamp as to what the Dagestan, people can do. For those who are still kind of, not mentally up to date as to what's going on with that, can you tell us how Dagestan has really kind of, been now a new powerhouse inside the world of MMA?
Well, yeah, it comes from it's different culture, different mindset, like very strong people, they come from the mountain region, there's not much else to do. And, even though it's part of Russia, Dagestan is kind of its own like republic in a way, like Chechnya, Dagestan. It's kind of like a little country within the country, great people, strong-willed people. They, even before MMA, they had some of the best wrestling ever seen on international level. So, there's like gym of the gym, and every gym you go to, there's some Olympic world champion or European champion or world champion, and the culture is always there, you know. So, and obviously Sambo being one of the top Russian sports, a lot of those fighters do train in that art and compete because they have combat sambo, so which is very, very similar to MMA, you know, punch, kick, takedowns, all that, submissions. So a lot of those guys have been training in that, like Fedor Emelianenko, right? Fedor, he comes from sambo background. So a lot of Russian fighters, they're either wrestlers or sambo practitioners, but you know, or judo players, but it's all kind of intertwined together over there. So them having that base and that background and that knowledge, once they, you know, came to America, it's pretty much well known now. Problem with that is that it's very hard to travel. So you don't see a lot of champions from Russia. There would be way more if there was like a pipeline of Russians able to come overseas, you know. So it's like if there's like 300, 400 Americans in UFC and then there's like 20 Russians, you know, so obviously the chances of catching the belt and raising up is, you know, slimmer. But we said if it was equal, it would be crazy competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a fighter earlier and she was talking about visa issues in general, and I just don't think a lot of maybe American fight fans really know about or think about the visa aspect of it, to where, you know, you have to have an actual visa to come work over here or compete and fight over here. Is that maybe one of the issues that we're having with not enough? Okay.
Yeah, travel issues. So I said travel. Because Russia and America always have tensions between them. Way worse now. So now you can't even do nothing. You can't do anything. You can't come here. So I know like Bellator, UFC are trying to put those fighters like on European cars or on other parts of the world, Abu Dhabi and all that stuff. So it's very tough. Being a fighter from most of the world is very tough because you need sponsors. You need to have an ability to live in another country for 2-3 months to train, you know. Then visa issues. You got limitations here or there. You can't work. You can't do this or this and that. So it's a very, very hard path, considering that in the beginning you don't even get paid anything really. Especially if the guys already signed to UFC and they're coming in, they get the P1 visa, this and that. If UFC did it, you know, it makes it easier. But sometimes you get these guys that come through and, you know, whichever way, and they're here for a couple of months, this and that. They're not signed to any organization. You know, it's easy to lose faith in fighting in the future. So I see all kind of issues and problems with these guys. It's too bad.
It really is, and I know, what you said about them. It's easier for them to be on, you know, European or the Fight Island cards because of the fact that there isn't so much tension when it does come to those countries, and it's unfortunate that there are, you know, the political aspects of a Russian fighter wanting to show that he's got what it takes to come fight in America, because he can't just because of what his leader does, or somebody from over here would have an issue going over to Russia because of what our leader is doing or whatever. It's just unfortunate the politics has to also enter the fight game in general like that.
Right.
Yeah.
They're unfortunate, but they're very, very sad because from seeing what these guys are able to do is insane. They're super athletes and they're stuck over there. There's not a lot of promotions in Russia either, so you can't even really